Hi, everybody. As Adam mentioned, I'm Justin Brown. I'm the VP of Global Supply Chain Operations for Dollar Shave Club. I've been in this role for just under a year, and prior to coming on board at DSC, I spent time with Unilever and SC Johnson. It's really nice to e-meet everybody. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm excited to speak to you and share the story along our journey of growth and disruption. So a little bit about what we're going to talk to. It's hard to speak about Dollar Shave Club without at least covering the disruption that took place and how it all came to be. A consistent theme throughout the years has been our story of growth, both before and after the acquisition. Then we'll discuss the unique challenges from COVID. Obviously, it's been a huge topic of conversation over the first day and will continue to be so today and tomorrow during our time here. I'm certain that everyone in this virtual room can recall the massive challenges brought upon us that hit the supply chain when the pandemic first hit. The value of a resilient supply chain has never been more apparent than what it is today. We not only had to continue to keep our business afloat through continuing operations, but we also needed to continue to disrupt and grow. And finally, I'll share some of our most insightful learnings that hopefully can help some of you in any small way. The picture to the right is of our founder and current CEO, Mike Dubin, who is still in this role nearly 4 years after the acquisition. You guys might recognize him from some of the commercials that you've seen on TV. Mike founded the company in 2011, buying some razors from the previous owner who had some inventory stashed in a warehouse here in Los Angeles that wasn't really moving a whole lot. And he used that to leverage his innovative idea to forge a new business model. As you guys may remember, the direct-to-consumer subscription-based model was not very well established back at this time, and Mike really leveraged his idea into the ultimate cost and convenience for consumers that were frustrated with buying traditional razors from a cost and prohibitive nature. And then Unilever acquired us for about $1 billion, as mentioned before, in 2016. So I'd like to share with you some high-level summary of why this is. As with most things, it always starts with the consumer. From the beginning, we've been completely obsessed with learning as much as possible about our members and customizing ourselves to meet their evolving needs. We have an incredibly engaged member base, which is a distinct competitive advantage. And we regularly go out with surveys and quick questionnaires on product, services, needs, and always have more than enough people eager and interested to give us feedback that really helps guide us. These insights we then feed directly into our innovation funnel. And we know that being a member of the club is important, and we want to engage our members in a lot of different ways and bring real value and experiences to them. Next comes problem solving. Paramount to any product we launch, it must solve real men's problems in a real world environment. We aren't interested in any Me Too or fast follow type products. Our products are specifically formulated and designed to address real needs that men are experiencing. For us, this is really the ticket to entry. We won't launch a product that doesn't add a specific need that we've learned from our direct research through our member base. The following is convenience. Hopefully you remember that the Razor Fortress ads that you see on the screen here really talked about the frustration that many men can feel from buying razors back in these days. One of the most important drivers of our success was how incredibly hard it was for men to purchase razors from the Razor Fortress. Our service is incredibly flexible and easy. This is the key difference for us. In addition, we're consistent and reliable in our deliveries for our members. Whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, or even less frequent, our members can count on an experience that is seamless, reliable, and consistent. And finally, our brand voice. We believe this is an extremely unique differentiator for us where to this day, it is really a competitive advantage. Adding on to the Razor Fortress concept, consumers also saw an unbelievable amount of marketing puffery and claims of lasers or frivolous add-ons that somehow could contribute to a quality shave if only we could get consumers to pay more money for it. We believe that men truly value authenticity, and we speak to them in a genuine and authentic way, with, of course, some humor sprinkled in on top from a Dollar Shave Club approach, and we deliver a product that exceeds the needs while charging them for only what they need. We don't and will never add frivolous claims to our product, as that's not consumer focused, and quite frankly, it can be super frustrating for most men. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about continuing growth through expansion. And so over the past few years, we've really had growth through expansion in a couple of different channels. One, geographically speaking, and two, the product portfolios that we manage. We've recently included expansion into the UK, Australia, and Canada. And while it's small compared to our US membership, we do have a loyal base of members in those countries upon which to grow our brand awareness and product offerings. We've been hot and heavy as well on expanding our product categories and now have a full complement of shaving products before, during, and after your shave. In addition, we've grown into the APDO, so antiperspirant deodorants, personal wash and hair care, hair styling, as well as oral care and skin care. And we have every intention of continuing our disruptive innovation history into the future to continue to solve men's evolving needs. We've also grown a sizable base of members over the years that love being members of our club. The next shift, though, that I'd like to talk a bit about is how, as you guys may recall, the world then stopped as we all were hit with the growing global pandemic. So we've talked a lot about it, obviously, over the first day. It will continue to be a hot topic of conversation today and tomorrow. But we all know that we've had far-reaching global impacts from the global pandemic. It's seen all around us. Most of the world's been on the brink of a recession, or going through it already. Unemployment has skyrocketed during the months of COVID. When not unemployed, many governments and many people are being furloughed. And while COVID has honestly become a bit political as of late, we really don't know when we will come out of this and how the global recovery will take shape. And so no one has really been spared by the level of impact, albeit personal or professional, from this truly unfortunate pandemic. So for us, and the question came up a bit earlier, how is it that we were able to manage? Well, a little bit about the internal process within Dollar Shave Club, and quite frankly, everywhere. It was interesting. So all of us, we've learned new terms, we've learned new technologies. We've had so many new terms and technologies come our way. And I, for one, quite honestly, had never heard of the term social distancing before, as an example. And now it's such a common phrase that's used in our everyday lives. We have signs that exist all around us, whether it's markings on the floor or spacing between all of our desks. It really is that it seems that social distancing is here to stay. And it now seems so common to have your temperature scanned before entering a building or even a restaurant, as you may be going out for a night, if those of us are fortunate enough to do so in some of the areas where we live. But our first priority was and will remain people. Singular focus on people and employee safety. It's really our global operation, as I mentioned before, was in a position where we had to continue running. And we had to learn quickly and adapt quickly to ensure we were protecting our people with any measure necessary. We've shown incredible inspiration. Our people have shown incredible inspiration and resilience in doing so. And you'll likely remember at the beginning of COVID, the race for supplies. Cleaning products, temperature guns, masks, gloves, you name it. I imagine if you take a moment, you yourself would even remember a specific purchase or a specific product that you found a way to get your hands on. The science was evolving daily, and I remember the vast troves of documents we were reading through on a regular basis to stay up to date and ensure we remained on the forefront of protecting our people. An incredible challenge, but it also showed our incredible team spirit and can-do capabilities when really put to the test. So we kept our people safe. We continued to learn from the science. We continue to put measures in daily to protect our fulfillment centers, our distribution sites, and we kept our people safe and gave them some products to alleviate their stress along the way. Does everyone remember the toilet paper shortage? I think there was a session yesterday where it even came up and we discussed it as one of our key examples. Thankfully, we actually had some excess stock of one of our toilet care products, and we're able to give a care package to our employees in a way that only DSC does. And of course, in doing so, we had a little humor sprinkled on top. And through it all, we actually even kept our business moving forward and growing while running a major ad campaign launching in March, right at the height, at the beginning of all of the COVID impacts. But for us, again, it was incredibly important to remain flexible, resilient from a supply chain perspective, keep the operations running, keep our people safe, and continue to drive the growth ambition we have for our company in 2020. And now I'm going to shift a bit to talk about what the next phase of disruption is for us. So disruption 2.0, and really what that means for us beyond just an e-com direct-to-consumer business model. So achieving new heights obviously requires constant disruption. As you're likely aware, several other companies have jumped into the fray, and some even as a bit of copycats for what we've been doing over the last 10 or so years. Staying focused on our strategy will continue to deliver success. We are a disruptive innovation company, and we're founded on that. We must continue to commit to deliver innovations that change categories, change benefits, and change the game. As an e-com presence in the market, technology remains a key enabler for our success. And we must also leverage technology to drive further efficiencies throughout our supply chain and broader company at large. And finally, if you deliver what consumers want, how they want it, and when they want it, you will continue to win in this space. Convenience is obviously a requirement to win. So next, we'll talk a little bit about our emerging trends that we continuously and constantly evaluate. As I said earlier, we're member and consumer obsessed. New trends are emerging rapidly from the global pandemic, And we see a shift to value conscious buyers already happening and people looking for affordable grooming. The economic impacts of COVID means some people have less money to spend in this category. New and even more heightened focus on products that deliver hygiene benefits and sanitizing properties. The national toilet paper shortage, as I mentioned earlier, was followed by the national hand sanitizer shortage, where it was very difficult to find any hand sanitizers at all. And even when they did come back in stock, you guys will probably remember retailers were limiting the number of purchases in order to try and shape demand and save as much as possible for as many consumers as possible. And lastly, we've seen many new consumers enter the e-com space. In fact, there is a statistic this year, if some of you may not be aware, since we're an e-com only company at the moment, that we've seen 4 years of combined growth in the e-commerce channel in 2020 alone based on the pandemic and the shift to online retailing. So obviously a massive shift in volume. I think Jason mentioned it before. Some companies felt differing levels of impacts from COVID. For us in this space, we are one of those fortunate companies to be in the right place at the wrong time. How we have seen volumes increase, but from an overall marketplace perspective, the volume shifts we've seen in this year are truly insane, quite frankly. And we feel that people have now learned these new skills and behaviors to buy online, and we believe that this trend will stick for many products. The convenience of home delivery and avoiding store trips is valuable for many of us, and for certain product categories out there, right? And so as you can imagine, razors honestly happens to be one of them. So building this into a new vision for the future. These new insights, coupled with our brand vision, yield an inspiring vision of innovation that works. It works for us. It works for others. Recent product launches like Ball Spray, Eye Savior, and Acne Face Wash all sold out in 4 to 5 weeks, which were, where we were experiencing massive sales over forecasts. And quite frankly, the product formats were getting 4.5 to 5-star reviews consistently, because the products were delivering real benefits based on real insights from our members and how they would really react to these types of offerings. And yes, I'm aware that out of stocks are not necessarily a good thing from a supply chain perspective, but hey, I did mention that they were massive sales over forecast. So we look at that as a bit of a win. And shifting gears a bit now, also want to talk a bit about technology specifically and how we're leveraging that to drive insights into the supply chain and into conversion to drive incremental sales. If I can get the slide to proceed. Okay, so we do consider ourselves a bit of a data powerhouse. We have internal systems with data repositories where we can leverage a tremendous amount of insights, again, directly driven by feedback from our member base directly back into our networks. In terms of what we would consider this as a breakthrough technology, we have some mind-blowing stats here to talk about where we actually have 10,000 unique data elements per member. And we have a vast first-party member database, which is obviously one of the direct benefits of a consumer or a direct-to-consumer relationship with our members directly. So we were able to leverage these insights and build back into our overall supply chain feasibility and flexibility to ensure that we're continuing to service our members. So we use that data powerhouse to solve real business problems. Here's a very simplified example of a question we solved with machine learning. A few days before shipment, a recurring shipment, a subscription-based shipment would go out to our members, we send out what we call a box manager email. But it's a shout out to their upcoming box and also highlight some items in case they need to add before it ships. So the question we asked is, hey, would you think about adding these types of products? We think they would be something that would resonate with you. Our machine learning algorithm are constantly learning and running and develop and deliver a unique order and type of product for each box manager email with the highest likelihood of add-ons and success. This has delivered more than $3 million in incremental revenue to this point, but the initial launch was highlighted also as a tremendous success. Next, we'll talk a little bit about continuing technology through our fulfillment centers. Fulfillment technology, as most of you in the room probably know, seems to change every month. We must continue to adopt new technologies to drive efficiency and accuracy, to remain flexible, to leverage the insights we continue to get from our member base. However, we do have a unique challenge at Dollar Shave Club in that our order size and box values are often not as high as some items like glasses or mattresses. So we must strive hard to find the right balance of capital investment with the cost of technology. We found that Pick-to-Light, in this case, which is the example on the screen, has been a great technology addition to our fulfillment centers. It delivers a highly unique box order in a very efficient way, which you can clearly see from a layout perspective, in addition to some quality controls to ensure perfect orders. Something else that we've done and optimized internal within our fulfillment centers is really diving deep into downstream mail processing and costs and internalizing as much of the sortation activities as possible. Additional sortation drives cost and time advantage for the USPS and UPS, for us in particular, for our providers, which is beneficial for us from a cost perspective. And lastly, this leads us to what would be our striving goal, which is to drive for ultimate convenience for our members. It may be a bit unattainable, but we are truly striving for ultimate perfect convenience. It's said simply, clearly identifying with the members' help what they need, in this case, a quiz, as what we see on the screen, to help customers and to make conversion truly simple, seamless and simple, and then deliver to their needs with flexibility and options. It looks so easy on the slide, but of course, this is something that continuously challenges us to be better and to continue to drive insights where we can, underpinned, of course, by supply chain flexibility and agility to really provide the needs of our member base in real time. However, being an e-com only player, as I mentioned before, can limit us. The majority of our members want to purchase our products in a variety of ways and channels, and a shift into omnichannel, a true omnichannel player space, opens up new opportunities for trial, awareness, flexibility, and convenience. We've had massive success with e-com and direct-to-consumer, but we know there's so much more we can do and further growth and expansion that's available to capture. And like I've said, members want flexibility and they want to purchase products in a variety of ways and channels. In addition, the barriers to trial for e-com only business are very real, which is why we are actually moving into retail. So this is a very exciting time for us. For the first time in the company's history, we are expanding beyond the e-com only direct-to-consumer business model, and we are launching into the national retail space. And in fact, as of the last couple of weeks, you can find our product in Walmart stores. And as of January of 2021, we will be launching nationally across the entire US network from a retailer perspective. So exciting times for us, and truly the next phase of disruptive growth for Dollar Shave Club that allows more flexibility for our member base to continue to try our great products. And obviously achieving new heights would require constant disruption. To summarize a bit, I talked a little bit about some of the game-changing innovations we have in terms of leveraging insights directly from our member base, building that back in to create product offerings that we really know will be beneficial for our consumers that really resonate with them. Leveraging breakthrough technology in terms of our big data approach, our data repository, leveraging that through machine learning and providing offerings to our member base to leverage real-time conversion and success rates to continue to drive the business forward. And then providing the ultimate level of convenience from a timing and consistency standpoint with enhanced membership solutions, easy access to try our new products, and just improving the overall convenience of buying from a retail perspective, in addition to the continual e-com direct-to-consumer model as well. And as I mentioned, we're in Walmart now. We will continue to expand within that space between now and the end of the year, and we'll be fully live from a full retail launch in January of 2021. So come be part of the club and join the party for us. So with that, I will close it out. Hopefully there were some insights and insightful information for many of you who had kind of learned from how we've gathered data, the importance of ensuring we have insights from our member base, and then driving towards decisions that satisfies their need in real time to continue to grow and move our business forward. And with that, I'll close it out, and I believe now we can pause for any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you very much indeed, Justin. Much appreciated, sir. I just want to, very quickly, the last session yesterday, Ranjan was talking about the need for resiliency and flexibility in supply chains. You said, flexible, easy, efficient are the kind of two things, but flexibility and efficiency are often at odds. How do you manage to balance that?
Yeah, I think, for us, we've really taken the approach with a flexible fulfillment model within our sites. And as I mentioned through the slide where we talked a little bit about fulfillment technology, we've balanced from an inventory availability strategy where we have a fairly robust approach to carrying inventory across a couple of different fulfillment sites. And we have the type of technology within our pick-to-light and our flexible picking schedules that will allow us to have hundreds of different options of pick profiles and volume drivers that we are able to get out the door on a same-day basis for our consumers. Not rocket science in terms of how we would be planning from a demand and supply planning standpoint, where we just have a robust approach to inventory optimization, but then really leverage a lot of our fulfillment technology to ensure that we are able to respond, to have that responsive reaction to our members who may be, driving incremental volume through the box manager example I provided from one day to the next, that we are able to respond to with fulfillment picking technology to where we're still shipping things out same day and satisfying our consumers' needs. So it's really a blend between some of the fulfillment technology that we've continued to explore and invest in addition to some robust inventory strategies to make sure that we're well positioned across some key strategic fulfillment sites in the network to be able to respond quickly.